Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. Today we have with us Parker Stevenson, who is the Chief Business Officer at Evolved Finance. Parker, welcome to the program.
Mike, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate you having me on the show.
You're welcome. Hey, I want to get to know you and what you do in your business, and I'm excited to learn about your services because I feel like it's such a needed service because people roll their eyes and go, oh, bookkeeping, I don't know what to do, and it's just hard. So, I really want to see what you do and how you fine-tune that in the industry. But what led you to start your firm, Evolved Finance? What's your background?
Well, so my business partner, Corey Whitaker, he founded the company back in 2010, and he really got into the bookkeeping world because him and his wife were essentially personal assistants for a lawyer in Los Angeles, and she had a firm, and they started to get involved in working in the office, and then she went into the online space and started teaching lawyers how to start their own firms in the online space. And she was just having such a problem finding bookkeepers that understood how the online part of her business worked. So because Corey was such a trusted partner, he has a kind of an aptitude for operations and finance, he figured it out, got their books in order. And then when other people started asking that first client of Corey's about like, hey, who's doing your books? Because I can't find a good bookkeeper in this online space. She started referring business to him, and then those clients referred business, and those clients referred business. So I got involved around 2014. I had actually worked in the corporate world working for Adidas Golf. It was tailor-made Adidas Golf at the time in San Diego, and I knew Corey and Anna had this business, and I always wanted to do something more entrepreneurial, and I was like, hey, I think I can help you guys grow this business. I think you have a really great niche, which are these online businesses. A lot of them are coaches and consultants, course creators, influencers, thought leaders, things of that nature. And I'm like, you have interesting clients. You provide a really great service. I think we can hone this in. Seems crazy to think about, but I left my cushy corporate job, jumped in, took a huge pay cut, and here we are 6 years later with a business that's probably 4x since then, and we have a stable of just amazing clients we're proud to get to work with.
That is so neat to hear. Number one thing that jumped out to my mind is something you hear a lot on Shark Tank where it's like, hey, how did you come up with this idea? They're like, well, I needed it, and then I couldn't find it, and then so I started it. So that's kind of like where the beginnings there are. Let's dive in a little deeper with, I think that bookkeeping is so broad. When you think about bookkeeping, fine-tune what bookkeeping is as compared to, well, I've got an accountant. Well, I've got a CPA. How is bookkeeping different? And then why is it that a coach, consultant, speaker, podcaster needs bookkeeping?
Yeah, it's a very common question. And I think, when you start a business, you don't start a business because you're pumped to file taxes or you're pumped to have to organize all your financial data and have to start reading profit and loss statements. But for those that are a little unclear about it, as a bookkeeping firm, we're responsible for organizing the financial data for our clients, all the transactions that are happening in their business through their checking account, credit card, PayPal account, Stripe, merchant accounts, all these different areas of the business, and we keep track of that for them. We use QuickBooks Online for all of our clients, and we keep track of it in a way that does two things. It allows their accountant to have all the financial information they need on the client's business to file the taxes accurately and properly, but then the work we do also helps our clients to understand what's actually happening in their businesses more clearly. Because a lot of the times entrepreneurs are like, I know money's coming in, but I'm not really sure what I'm spending my money on. I'm not really sure how much money we're making in profit. I just know we have money in the bank account. And that's something I think, especially for the types of clients we serve. So many of our clients aren't necessarily people that have backgrounds in startups or had a lot of experience even in the corporate world. They're people who had expertises, learned how to market their expertises online, have a bunch of financial success, and then they're like, cool, I know how to market and sell what I do, but what's all this other stuff going on behind the scenes in my business that I need to understand? So that's why we kind of niche down on this in this specific group of businesses, because they're looking for some support that goes beyond just getting the books done for tax reasons. They want someone that's going to help explain their numbers to them, and that's a big part of our service, is helping our clients to understand those numbers. And then also just for the fact that, like, it's a stressful part of running a business, and our goal is to just empower them and educate our clients so they feel like, oh, this isn't that hard. As long as someone's organizing the data for me in a way that's appropriate for my type of business, then this is, I can do all the things I need to do to not only grow my top line revenue, but make sure my profitability is following along with that as well.
Excellent clarification, and it made me think of a question. So what percentage of your clients are like what I'm about to describe, and then what do you do about it and help coach them out of it? Which is, wow, last year I made X, and they here's this big number, whatever the number is, right? But then when the dust settles, you look at the outflow, like you brought in X, but oh my word, you made 12 cents. So the cash flow, the debt, the expenses, it doesn't matter what you bring in. It matters what you do with that money and what you retain. So what does that look like when you work with clients? And then is that something you can help guide them in making some good decisions?
Yeah, I mean, it's really 50-50. I feel like we have some clients who are, as you described, where they feel like I'm just spinning my wheels. I know my clients and my customers like what we do, but I just don't feel like there's enough left over. And literally after a month or two of doing their books, we have an onboarding process to kind of help our clients understand what their numbers are telling them in the beginning. And they go, oh, I was actually keeping more money than I realized. I just didn't have any financial reporting. Or they go, oh, that's why I'm not making as much money as I thought I was. And I just need to, it's clear where money is leaking, because again, the financial data will make that super, super obvious. And then, they make changes in their business and they go with it. But the reality is that there's also some entrepreneurs who know they're making a lot of money. They know they're doing well. They might not know exactly how well they're doing, but they're just stressed because they don't know what to do with the money. They're like, they're just literally scared of their success. They're like, what's my tax bill going to be? What should I be doing with this? Am I doing something wrong? So we kind of get a little bit of both of those kind of scenarios, simply because especially online businesses can be really profitable kind of by accident in the early stages, but eventually every business owner needs to have that financial insight we provide, because you won't stay profitable forever without having some intention.
It kind of makes me think of like a magnifying glass. You're able to take all the clutter and do it for them and take that relief so they can breathe a sigh of relief. But then it's also a magnifying glass to go, hey, here's an opportunity to improve or stop this or do that. So, bringing to light those reports and then letting them know what that really means, to me seems like a really wonderful perspective.
Yeah, and the thing is, again, the insights from the numbers aren't that complicated. I think one of the things we try to dispel is that finances is something that, as a business owner, you're going to have to outsource to someone else, and you're just going to have to ignore it and trust someone else to manage it. And I think if you look in the Fortune 500 world, almost every single CEO is going to be in the numbers in some way. They're going to have a CFO, but they have to have that baseline understanding of what's going on in this business financially, because if you're setting the vision for your business, that vision better be tied into some financial goals. And so again, if the data is organized in a way that makes sense, because it's your business, you know the story behind those numbers, you know what you're spending that money on, then once you see that and the numbers are put in front of you in the right way, you go, oh, okay, again, this isn't that difficult. It's really obvious what's going on with my business. It's just, I think the finance world in general sometimes uses vocabulary that confuses people. Sometimes a lot of the accountants, bookkeepers, financial advisors aren't always speaking the same language as their clients, don't always understand their business models, don't always necessarily like providing customer service, don't always like teaching and explaining things. So that's where we've kind of used that as our competitive advantage to really separate ourselves from our competition, because it's a huge part of our value proposition. We want our clients to understand this, because their businesses grow, and when their businesses grow, so does ours.
You think about a CPA who is highly trained and certified and educated and things like that. Then you think of an accountant that's, maybe a touch less requirement for being an accountant, but still highly trained. Then you think about a bookkeeper, and maybe, I don't know your world, but maybe there's not as many requirements for education or degrees or certifications. So I would wonder if that your industry is ripe for people that are bookkeepers to really not do as great of a job as what it demands. So what are some of the business owners frustrated with when they work with other bookkeeping services, and then when they come to you, they discover, wow, this is, the promised land and the grass really is greener?
Well, Dan, I want to answer that question, but that's really great insight on your part, Mike, because you're speaking like someone who's maybe been in the entrepreneur world for a while and then have experienced maybe the varying degrees of service you get from your bookkeepers, because you're absolutely right. You don't need the same level of education or background to be a bookkeeper. If you can open QuickBooks Online, you can technically call yourself a bookkeeper. So the experience can vary very widely. And so that's where for us, it's the unsexy part of running a business, but it's the part that I think has really grown our business a lot, and it really takes our clients' businesses to the next level, which is our systems and our operations. When you're working with just a freelance bookkeeper and they're just kind of winging it, or you're working with a bookkeeper at an accounting firm where the accountant is more worried about filing taxes and not really caring about how the bookkeeping is getting done, well, then you're going to have a really inconsistent experience. They're not thinking about how do we deliver the best bookkeeping service possible. They're just thinking, how do I just get this done for the client? And especially when there's not as much education around what is the role of bookkeeping in your business as a business owner, you kind of just go, well, it's cheap. Doesn't cost that much money, and my accountant seems to be happy with it. You don't know that you should expect more from that. So typically when our clients are coming to us, they're like, my bookkeeper doesn't understand my business model. They don't get back to emails on time. I never get my reports in a consistent way. I don't think they're doing the bookkeeping properly. I'm not getting any insights from the books. I feel like it's more from my accountant than for me as the business owner. So all those things are like, every time I hop on a call with a prospective client, it's almost guaranteed one of those things are going to be described to me when they talk about their current bookkeeper.
Yeah, I really think that is the case, because you think about a lot of professions out there where there's really a low barrier to entry, and then the experience and deliverables can vary very, very widely. So when clients come to you, and after the onboarding and the certain first few months, and they see some differences, what are you hearing that you guys do as a competitive advantage that people really appreciate? Like, hallelujah, I was so tired of X, and you guys have solved this. What is the thing that really makes you guys stand out?
I think it's just the fact that I don't want to sound too mean here and broadly generalize an entire industry, but I think when you think of like someone who gets into bookkeeping or gets into accounting, you don't think of someone who's necessarily ready to provide customer service. I think you start to think of introverted people who don't necessarily want to interact with other humans a whole lot. I definitely know, a number of people in this industry who break that stereotype, but that stereotype is there for a reason. And so I think what our clients just find so refreshing is that there's a level of customer service that makes them feel secure and supported. Because, again, this is a very vulnerable situation. You're having someone come in and look at the most vulnerable part of your business. There was a study done in the UK a couple of years ago that showed people would rather talk about their sex lives than talk about their money. And we're just going in and seeing everything about their business's finances, and that leaks into even their personal finances to some degree, that to feel like someone understands their business model, which we hear a lot about, is like, oh, you get online businesses. And we have a team that really we're training to build a high level of customer service that really answers emails quickly, has expertise, is able to provide guidance. And then there's some other aspects of our service where, like my business partner and I, we do group calls with our clients, so I can provide some strategy, provide some coaching that just is kind of, icing on the cake for our clients. So I think our clients just feel like, wow, I didn't know there was a bookkeeping company that really served my niche and really understand my business. And then when you combine that with what I believe is our high level of customer service, our clients usually stick around for many, many years.
Yeah, I really think that gone are the days of good customer service, getting back to someone same day, being real, being authentic, just treating them like a human rather than a number. Yes. And isn't it interesting that that's not hard? And if that's what makes you stand out, Fooey on the competitors, for not figuring that out. But man, if that really rings your bell, wait till you see what else we've got when we deliver this and that and more. So wow, the customer service and treating you like a human being, that's easy. Let's get to work. So that's really awesome to hear. So hey, let's wrap up with what's an encouragement you would give to a business owner or a expert or a thought leader, where it's like, if you've wondered whether your bookkeeper or whether a bookkeeping experience could benefit you, here's what we can do to kind of give you a, insight, or you learn more about our business, and then what's the best way that they can reach out and connect with you?
Sure. No, so I think the one thing that I always like to share with any entrepreneur I talk with is it's so important that as a business owner, you understand what the financial goals are for your business. And it goes beyond just like a forecast or a budget. It's about, do you know what the financial benefits of your business model is? So if you're trying to sell your business, you're going to have very different financial goals than someone who has a business like our clients do, where I'd say 90% of our clients will likely never sell their businesses. And if they do, it's not going to be for, millions and millions of dollars. But the profit potential of online educators and people providing online services, the profit potential is huge. Our clients' baseline profit margins that we're pushing for them is 30% or higher. And we have clients who have profit margins that get into the even 60 to 70% range when you start taking into consideration all their owner benefits that they tie in on top of the profit that they're making. So that's where if you're clear that your business model is going to build your wealth around profit, then that's why it's so important that you have proper financial tracking in your business, and you have a bookkeeping team that understands how your business model works, so you can make better decisions around, how do I invest in my business so that it grows, but how do I make sure I'm not over-investing to try to grow the business to the point where I'm starting to miss out on those profit opportunities that are going to build my wealth, create a better savings in the business so the business is more stable and I have more cash available to me to invest back into the business, so I'm not having to go into debt or use credit for my business to grow. That's the benefit that our clients' business models really have. So that's why we just emphasize the importance of bookkeeping for the clients we serve, because if you're not making profit, you're missing on your opportunity to really get the financial benefit out of your business year over year. So if that sounds like something you're interested in as a listener, then evolvefinance.com is the place to go. We have a podcast on there where it's 15, 20-minute episodes where I talk a lot about the things we're seeing in the online space, how to think about your business from a more financial standpoint, and just learn from the things we're learning from our clients. And then we also have a really great workshop that you can sign up for on our website that we give away a free personal budget and a free business budget, and there's great tutorials that go along with that teach you how to use those things. We should probably be charging a bunch of money for that, but we feel like it's just such an important place for every entrepreneur to start, is learning these basic concepts of how to manage a budget in their personal life and their business lives, that we know it's just going to help so many entrepreneurs that we're happy to just give it away for those that watch the workshop.
Awesome. Well, Parker, thank you so much for coming on today. It was really fun talking with you.
Hey, Mike, thanks again for having me on, and hopefully talk to you soon.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.